So it's another walking one, but I thought that'd be quite nice. It's been a great week of reading. I'm going to start off with a little update of what I've been up to. So I went to Bristol with Rob for our 10-year anniversary. We stayed in a nice hotel. Was feeling a little bit rough because I'd gone up a dose on Manjaro on the Monday, which was literally just before we left, which was a bit of a mistake because by Tuesday it was pretty rough. So we didn't end up going for a meal in the evening, but we did have a nice lunch that we had in a hotel. Definitely still celebrate, so it was lovely. So it was a really nice, lovely little getaway. First time we'd gotten away, just two of us, in honestly years. So it was nice. So the first book I read was actually a short story, but it was published as a ebook, and also I think it's like those little, I don't know if I've been to Waterstones, but sometimes they have them by the till where there's like little short stories published as tiny little books. And like there was a Sally Rooney one, there was a Sylvia Plath one, there was a Haruki Murakami one, and I saw this one. It was Anne Tyler, and I love Anne Tyler. I'm a big Anne Tyler kick at the moment, so I've got a few more of hers to read as well from the library. But yeah, it was really good. So it's Semi-Truths and Half-Lies, and it's about a girl that grows up from a religious family, and her dad's a pharmacist, and she becomes a healer, basically. And she will, like, put her hands on people and take away their pain. But as she grows up and she gets married and the gift starts to become more of a burden, we start to see how it affects her, and eventually her son dies. And the effect that has on her marriage, that she couldn't save him. She meets another healer and kind of gets a fresh perspective on things. It is fabulous. I really recommend it. It's really enjoyable. It really is Anne Tyler's novels in short story form. In that really short story, I don't know what it was, maybe 30, 40 pages, we're getting someone's entire life from childhood to their 60s. So again, fascinating, fantastic, really enjoyed it. The next book I read, The Premonition by Banana Yoshimoto. I'm a big fan of Banana. Really loved Kitchen. I've loved some of her other books, but I didn't click with this one as much. I got it from Stanford's in Bristol while we were there, and was really taken in by the description of it. I just found the bits about her feelings towards her adopted brother once she finds out that they're not blood related really uncomfortable and strange. That's not to poo-poo the book. Obviously, it is more complicated than maybe I'm presenting it, but I found it a little bit unpleasant. So, not all books have to be pleasant. They don't all have to be things we agree with, but I did find that really odd, and the way it's presented is quite strange. But all in all, I'd still recommend reading it. It's sort of, I think, an introduction to magical realism in a way that's a bit more grounded, that there's a sort of fantastical element to it that I won't give away, that is a lot more subtle, a lot more grounded, a lot more, a lot less fantastical than maybe like a Murakami, where there's, it plays a big element in the story. I finished Human Rites by Juno Dawson, finally. It was weird because I read the first quarter, maybe the first third of the book, and then read a few other things. I don't know why. I think it's because I knew it was about to end, and I really wasn't ready for it, because I really enjoyed the trilogy, or the four if you include the prequel. So this is the third and final chapter in the HMRC story, Her Majesty's Royal Coven. It had a really great way of having a really satisfying ending without being cliche or without wrapping everything up too neatly. There's definite final resolutions to these stories, but they're not all happy, and I liked that. it still feels satisfying. You know, we see Kira and Neve, the twins, finally back together, finally finding some common ground or forgiveness, or will they? Loved that aspect of the story. Yeah, I think it was a really great twist in the way Theo's story is told, especially how we kind of take that turf allegory with the way she's treated as a transgender witch in the witching world for the way it is for trans people in modern Britain. I think is a really good way of drawing out empathy in the readers for what it would be like to be a young trans person in the UK, like especially in the current climate. If you want to understand the way the current cultural wars are playing out in the UK, it's actually a really great book to do it without being too miserable or too sad, because obviously that could get very sad. I really liked how Neve's story played out. Some of the bigger shocks were Leonie and Chinara's stories. Those plots, I loved that aspect of the plot because it really took full advantage of the way the novel plays with time. And I won't go any more into that because I don't want to give away any spoilers, because there's a big spoiler there. But it really helps you see how the previous two novels set so much up. So I actually went to a really fantastic bookshop. So not Stanford, that's sort of like a full price bookshop, but there's a bookshop called The Last Bookshop, I think it's called, and this in Bristol, and we went. Everything was £5 and under, and these were new books, so I don't know how they're doing it. I wonder if maybe they're remainders, I don't know, but there was lots of things I wanted to read. So yeah, I got a few books there. So I'll share those when I get home. I'll film which ones I picked up. But I'm really looking forward to Burnt Sugar and Annie Mac's book, Mother. If you live in the UK, you'll know who Annie Mac is. She's a Radio 1 DJ, very, very famous, and just fabulous. She's great. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I feel like that will be the highlight, because I think I have a friend who read it who really enjoyed it, so looking forward to it. The reviews were good. Let me know what you've been reading in the comments, or if you've read any of these books, or you've read any of the ones I've mentioned that I'm going to be going through this week. Please comment, let me know. I also started Welsh lessons this week. If you didn't know, I live in Wales, obviously. So some jobs as well, they're always listed. It's desirable because it's really helpful to have. And I've wanted to do it for years, and I'm not a total beginner. Like, I did well with Welsh in school. I carried on learning on Duolingo afterwards, so I booked a 1-year intensive course. So it's 4 hours a week plus your independent learning. So I go on Tuesdays and Thursdays after work, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Have a good week.